Guys, welcome back to Be Real, which is essentially, I mean, it's pretty much a podcast where you guys get to listen in on a conversation between me and someone else, and just kind of get to hear the story behind real life situations and real life things that we all face. And hopefully this will kind of encourage you guys just to be able to overcome what we're talking about today. And today I'm with my buddy Colton Taylor.
What's up, y'all?
And we're going to be talking about people pleasing and how that was a big struggle in his life, and how he overcame it and still constantly tries to overcome it every single day, because it's not like it just goes away.
Yeah, that's true.
But so where did it all start, bro? Like,
Yeah.
if you could pinpoint it.
Yeah, so I think people pleasing for me was, I think for everyone it starts at like a very young age.
Yeah.
Where you want to please your parents, you want to please your teachers, you want to please your coaches, you want to please people. I mean, you want to do a good job, and there's nothing wrong with that. You want to earn respect from people, and you want you know what I'm saying. So it's not necessarily the act of wanting to please people that's bad. It's whenever it gets in the way of like your own
like your own happiness.
Yeah, like if you're trying to please other people and you're not being yourself, that's when it becomes an issue.
Yeah.
But if you're being yourself and you're trying to please your parents, your coaches, your pastors, whatever it is, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just, I think it starts at a young age, and I think it starts with just wanting to please, just people and do a good job in life.
Yeah.
Really.
So
everyone wants to do a good job. I want to do a good job.
That's true, me too. But like for you specifically, when do you think, like now looking back on it, when do you think it took a turn for the worse, where it was pretty much running your life?
Yeah. I think whenever I stepped into, I want to say around 19, 20 years old, that's when it really became kind of an issue, where now I'm in the world, I've graduated high school, and now there's all this pressure to perform and become something.
Yeah.
And
where's that pressure coming from?
Yeah, I think it comes from obviously the demand you want to put on yourself. I think it comes from yourself. But ultimately, I think it comes from yourself because of the culture that we live in is success driven, and everything is about succeeding. And since we're little kids, I mean, even going back to school, it's just like you pass or you fail.
Yeah.
And it's hardwired into your brain that like I either pass or I fail. And I think what happened is, I started to think, well, I only get one shot at this.
Yeah. And
I only get one shot at this. And so as I'm starting to pursue life, I'm starting to think, well, what do my parents want me to do? What do these people of influence in my life want me to do? And ultimately, I still wanted to do what I wanted to do, but would it make other people happy? And would it make my parents happy? Would it make my friend, like would my friends think it's cool? Would my friends think like, oh, that's awesome? Like it's a weird thing, because I always told myself that I didn't care what people thought.
Yeah.
And it was only on the side of rebellion and like stupid things I would do. Oh, I don't care what people think. But when it came down to it, I think, obviously it mattered to me what people thought.
You actually did care.
Yeah, you actually do. I think you hide behind, I don't care, but deep down, I mean, we all care.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest difference is like what you just said, how we all want to succeed.
Yeah.
Like in ourselves, that's what we want. We want to be successful, whatever that looks like for every individual person. Yeah. It could be being rich. It could be having a stable family because you grew up without a family.
Yeah.
It could be, just providing just enough, but being able to go on vacations and enjoy like the people around you.
Yeah.
It could be anything, success. Yeah. But I think you hit it like perfectly when you said that it turned from that to like, if I do this, are people going to approve of it?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. I think it it's just like that pass or fail mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And learning, and this is something I had to learn too, was that there's a thing, I forget who says it, I'm not going to take it as my own, but it's like failure is the admission to success.
Yeah.
It's the admission price, and failures are just early steps of success.
Yeah.
And so
really good.
in life, you know what I mean? It's just that mentality of like, it's either pass or fail, but it's failures are actually steps. They're things that lead you into success. So in totality of what it is, it's all success. It's all you discovering and you developing and you growing.
Yeah.
And we can't be afraid and shy away from failure, because people pleasing comes out of like, if I fail these people, if I fail the expectations that are on me, if I fail, myself, then like, you know what I mean? That's where the people pleasing comes from. So it's like, if we just get rid of the idea of what failure is and what failure like the way you define it and your perspective of failure, I think people pleasing will kind of, it won't be such a deep issue in your life, I think.
Yeah.
For me too.
Dude, that's hard, because I know like certain people that have like, depending on like the family culture, like I know for my family culture, it was like, or not even just my family culture, but just my whole background as a Mexican.
Yeah.
It's like, as a man, you don't cry,
Right.
and you don't show emotion. And if you do, then you failed as a man.
Yeah.
So then you take that into like, once you grow up and you're obviously feeling emotions, because I think men are very emotional beings.
Yeah, we are.
We just try and act like we're not sometimes.
Yeah. Good at hiding it.
But it's like, I think later on you start dealing with, crap, if I show emotion, then I failed. So now, to people please, you never let the emotions get the best of you. Or not even the best of you, you just never really accept them and process them.
Yeah.
And then I feel like that happens with everything else. Like if a parent's very like, you have to do school and this and that, like you do it, but then even then, like your parents are proud of you.
Yeah.
But even then you're not happy. So it's like this vicious cycle of like,
it's a vicious cycle.
I pleased them, but I'm not happy, or I'm trying to please them, but I'm not happy.
Yeah.
So what did you start like doing essentially to like kind of break that off?
I think I heard a quote one time. It says, if you live by people's acceptance, you'll die by their rejection.
Wow.
And when I heard
That's
that,
really good.
Yeah. And when I heard that, it's almost like that aha moment. And I think everyone has those moments where they finally get it, and it finally hits home with them, and you realize like, okay, now, because we have these emotions and we have these things in us, and until we can really wrap our mind around our emotions, it doesn't make sense to us. And so we live by these things and we don't realize it. But whenever your mind finally catches up to the way that you're feeling, that's when you're like, okay, you know what I mean? So I think I started doing, I started saying what I wanted to say. I started doing what I wanted to do. And what that looked like for me was leaving school, leaving baseball, leaving friends, and pursuing a relationship with God, pursuing a happy life, a drug-free life, a life that was different than the rest. I didn't want to. My ultimate fear was to end up like every single other person that I knew, and I just saw people living their lives like just constantly trying to live up to these expectations of pleasing people and pleasing the idea of success, and
half the time it's almost like you're not pleasing people, you're pleasing culture.
You're pleasing,
like, essentially.
Essentially. And when I started to do that, that's whenever I started to just really just pursue my own, like this, I don't know, my own, not, I wouldn't say my own path, but just like when I diverted away from the crowd a little bit, and I got my mind right and I got my life right, that's when it started to kind of hit me like, I don't know. It just, you don't really care as much once you finally have enough courage to do different.
Yeah.
Whenever you finally say, you know what, because I was going to school and I didn't know what I wanted to be. I didn't know what I wanted to do. But I knew that I wanted to do something. I just didn't know what that was yet. And and so until I had enough courage to say, you know what, I'm gonna step away from this right now because I don't want to. I don't feel like it's the right thing for me right now.
So it was like you didn't know what you wanted.
Right.
You didn't know what to do.
Right.
You just knew it needed to be something different.
Exactly. And
that's pretty cool because a lot of people sometimes they're like, man, I just don't know what I want to do. So how do I know what action to take?
Mm-hmm.
And that's really cool. Like, we'll just do something different.
Yeah.
And then see how you feel in that. And if you don't feel peace in that, then do something different.
Yeah. There's I was reading this book and it said a man or a woman, obviously, but he said a man, and
it's 2019.
Yeah, 2019. But he said a man will spend a majority of his life trying to display qualities that he never possessed.
Wow.
And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to live my life trying to, well, I'm smart at this. And this is another thing about school was that you can judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, and it will live its whole life thinking that it's stupid, that it can't do it, because a fish was never made to climb a tree.
Yeah.
A fish was made to swim in water.
Yeah.
And for me, I was climbing. People were saying you should climb this tree, and it wasn't what I. So I had enough courage to make a decision that said, this isn't what I want to do. This isn't what I feel like I need to do. Even though I'm not sure what it is yet, I'm going to go discover it for myself.
Yeah.
And that's the moment whenever I really broke that pleasing mentality of trying to live for other people off.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm a human, and it's like, it still follows me sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, I wanna please people, and even it's like in ministry, like I want to please people. I want to please my pastors. I want to please my leaders. I want to please people that I know, that like I want to display the best version of myself to them. But it's gonna follow you. It's never something I feel like you can truly get away from, if we're being real.
Yeah.
But it is something that you can identify, recognize, and be aware of, and you can deal with it from there.
I think based off of everything that you were saying, it's almost like the expectations set on you from other people are just voices.
Yeah.
And we naturally, if we're being honest, we naturally give more attention to other voices than we do our own voice, like our own gut.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you're expected to do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, but I know that I don't want to do that, but because I was told this, now that's kind of what I have to do. So almost like just seclude yourself for a little bit, get away, and just like, what is my heart and my stomach like speaking to me?
Good.
You know what I mean?
It's so true. Everything, and I'll say it from this standpoint, and everything that God placed in me is in my instincts.
Yeah.
Like T.D. Jakes talks about that a lot.
Yeah.
And if you don't know who T.D. Jakes is, it's a pastor at a church in Dallas, and he's a phenomenal man of God.
The
bishop, man. I've learned so much from his teaching and preaching, but it's in your instincts. It's like your instinct. If you go back in your life, at every wrong decision you've ever made, there was a moment where you knew you weren't supposed to do that.
Yeah.
At every single wrong turn you've ever taken, you knew that was not what you were supposed to do.
Wow.
And what takes us down that path a lot of the time is people pleasing.
Wow. That's true.
It's like,
that's probably why, like, because when you were playing college, like baseball, you wanted to do that essentially, right?
Yeah, that was everything I ever wanted to do, yeah.
And then when you were in there, is that what kind of led to like the drugs and...
Yeah, just like the hanging out with the wrong crowd and...
Because they were your boys.
Yeah, they were my boys, and trying to, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah, it's like I couldn't say... I remember the moment whenever I was like, dude, this is... What am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, it all stemmed back to, like, I realized, like, I love playing baseball.
Yeah.
But I felt in my instincts that there was something bigger for me. And that was honestly God working in my life.
Yeah.
before I even realized it, because that was before I even gave my life to the Lord. That was before I ever tried to pursue ministry. That was before I ever found the church, heard Dustin preach, anything like that. Like, there was something in me rising up saying, like, you're just different. Like, don't follow the path of the crowd. And there's going to be a lot of people watching this that you do feel called to be in school or get a degree to advance to wherever you're trying to go. And I'm not saying like, oh, don't be like society and do school and do the traditional thing. Like, go after your goals, go after the things that got, you know, the passions and the desire, like all those things in you are placed in you for a reason. And but if you're doing those things to please other people and not please yourself, you'll never feel fulfilled.
That's good. That's really good.
And so just that's why I took time away to make sure that this is what I wanted to do. And you know, life happens at such a pace where if you don't pause, the power of pausing, it will always be resuming. It'll always be resuming, and you'll never have the clarity to make the right decisions because you're caught in the whirlwind of what's next, what do I need to do, and I mean, that's a little off topic, but it's just
but it's true, because like even just like this weekend, as we've been away at like a conference together, like there's been situations where someone will bring up a story and I genuinely don't remember that instinct, but it's like, to me, I know that in my past I haven't been present a lot. It's just been super cloudy and foggy, and so it's like you were saying, like it's just going and going and going, and I wasn't present in that day. And when I wasn't present in that day, then anything that was going on around me really handled me.
It handles you.
Because if you don't take a moment to pause and be present in that moment, then you can't really speak to yourself and talk to yourself and be like, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm thinking, like this is how I think I should handle this situation. It's just kind of like you're just going with the flow, and going with the flow only works for so long until you get burnt, you know what I mean? It's true, like you need to pause, and maybe that's the biggest thing on how to like overcome is like pausing and saying, hey, you know what, like I need to figure out what my gut's telling me, and it, you know, if you're a Christian like we are, then you figure out what the Holy Spirit's speaking in this situation, but you never take the time to do that
to process
if you're not present, because
my favorite example of what we're talking about is when you eat food, the only time that you're able to extract the nutrients, the good things from it, is in the process of digestion. And allowing it to sit and allowing it to like do, you know what I'm saying? It's like
you don't just eat it and then poop it out.
Right. Like you have it goes the process of like, you know what I mean? So like you let it sit in there, and then your body begins to pull nutrients from it and things that it needs to like keep itself strong and healthy. And I think you need to do that with your mind, with information. I think you need to do that with your heart, with people, and God, and everything, you know, that is in there. It's like the power of pausing and being present, bro. It's everything. And it's in those moments too when you recognize issues like people pleasing, or you know what I mean? It's like taking that time, and and I think a lot of us might be afraid to do that, to take a look in and really process things because it hurts. But every wound that I've ever had that healed there was a scab, and it hurt, and the healing process hurt, but if you allow time to do its course, and you allow the proper like treatment, you know, it will be good as new. So as another example.
Exactly. Dude, that's awesome. I think honestly we can end there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know that I got a lot just from the conversation, because
we're going in there.
we had already filmed it once, and something happened with the video, and I was like, dude, we got to film again. But this time was better than the last time. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it. This is my buddy Colton Taylor. I'm gonna put his Instagram tag on there so you guys can follow him, ask him questions if y'all got anything. But don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it with someone that you think would enjoy it. But until next time, you guys take it easy.